Now, dear one, snuggle in deep under your softest blanket and let your eyes drift closed. Feel the quiet hush of the night settling all around us, like a gentle, comforting sigh. Tonight, I want to tell you a story about a world not so different from our own, filled with bustling energy and a special kind of magic. It's a tale of two friends, a curious little one, and the wonderful discoveries they made together. Imagine, if you will, a city called Monstropolis, a place built by monsters, for monsters. Its towering buildings and bustling streets were powered by a very particular kind of energy, the sound of children's screams. And at the heart of this city stood a grand, busy place called Monsters Incorporated. Here, skilled monsters, known as scarers, would journey through closet doors into the human world to collect those precious screams. Among these scarers were two very best friends, a large, fuzzy, blue-green monster with purple spots named James P. Sullivan, though everyone called him Sully, and his smaller, one-eyed, lime-green best buddy, Mike Wazowski, who was quick-witted and always full of plans. Sully was the top scarer, with a booming roar that could gather more energy than anyone else. Mike was his loyal assistant and best friend, always there to cheer him on, prepare his scare stations, and generally make sure Sully was ready for anything. One evening, after a busy day on the scare floor, something quite unexpected happened. A child's door, which should have been inactive, suddenly glowed. Sully, ever conscientious, peered inside, believing it might be a door that had been left active by mistake. But instead of an empty room, a tiny, curious human child, a little girl with big, wondering eyes, wandered out. Imagine Sully's surprise. Monsters believed human children were terribly toxic, that even a single touch could cause immense harm. Panic rippled through his furry chest. This little girl, who quickly became known as Boo after the sound she often made, was now loose in their world. Sully, bewildered and a little scared himself, knew he had to keep her hidden. He tried to usher her back through her door, but it slid away, disappearing into the vast warehouse of children's doors before he could manage it. With Boo clinging to him, her small hand gripping his fur, Sully rushed to find Mike. Mike, who was preparing for a romantic dinner with his lovely girlfriend, Celia May, was utterly horrified by the sight of the little human. His initial reaction was to try and get her back, but his attempts to return her were clumsy, leading to more comical chaos than actual progress. The Child Detection Agency, or CDA, a group of agents in hazmat suits, were always on alert for such incidents, and Mike was terrified they would discover Boo and quarantine everything. And so a peculiar adventure began. Sully, with Mike's reluctant help, had to hide Boo, dressing her in a monster costume and trying to blend her into the monster world. It was a challenging task, filled with funny mishaps, like when Boo accidentally caused a riot at a restaurant during Mike and Celia's date because everyone thought she was a monster child. But through it all, something special was happening. Slowly, carefully, Sully began to see Boo not as a threat, but as an innocent, playful child. He discovered that her touch didn't cause him harm. Instead, her small presence brought a warmth to his usually gruff exterior. Boo, in turn, was captivated by Sully, finding comfort and joy in his big, gentle form. She giggled at his silly faces and loved to play peekaboo with him. Meanwhile, another monster, a slithery, chameleon-like scarer named Randall Boggs, had grown quite jealous of Sully's success. Randall had his own secret, rather unpleasant schemes brewing. He saw Boo as an opportunity to further his own ambitions. He observed Sully and Mike, growing suspicious of their secretive behavior. One day, while Sully was trying to make Boo laugh, something truly remarkable happened. Boo's joyful giggles created a powerful surge of energy, causing lights to flicker and machines to hum. Sully realized then that laughter, not screams, generated an incredible, clean energy. This was a revelation, a turning point in his understanding of the world. But Randall's schemes were growing bolder. He had built a peculiar device, a scream extractor, designed to forcefully take screams from children, and he was working with none other than Mr. Waternoose, the stern, crab-like CEO of Monsters, Inc. Mr. Waternoose, desperate to solve the city's energy crisis, had chosen a misguided path, believing this machine was the only way to save his company. Sully and Mike stumbled upon Randall's hidden lair and discovered the truth. Randall was planning to use Boo with his machine. In a tense confrontation, Sully bravely protected Boo. But Randall managed to capture Mike. Mr. Waternoose, pretending to offer help, orchestrated a trick. He opened a door, seemingly to send Boo home, but instead he banished Sully and Mike far away, to a desolate, snowy land high in the Himalayas. He believed this would silence them and protect his secret. Stranded in the cold, Sully and Mike met a friendly, furry creature known as the Abominable Snowman, who offered them some gentle advice and lemon-flavored snow cones. He reminded them that they had important work to do, that they had to find a way back. Sully, filled with determination and a renewed sense of purpose, knew he couldn't leave Boo in danger. Using a makeshift sled, Sully and Mike slid down the treacherous mountainside, finding a way back to Monstropolis through a door they managed to activate. They returned just in time. Randall was about to use his strange machine on Boo. A thrilling chase ensued through the vast, complex door vault, a magical place where millions of children's doors hung suspended, ready to transport monsters to any human bedroom. The doors whizzed and spun, opening and closing, taking Sully, Mike, Boo, and the pursuing Randall on a dizzying journey through countless human homes. Boo, with her innocent child's eye, instinctively knew which door was hers, and her quick actions helped Sully and Mike outmaneuver Randall. Eventually, with a clever trick involving a simple door and a remote button, Randall was pushed through a door to a distant, quiet place where he could no longer cause trouble. But the most difficult moment was yet to come. Sully and Mike realized they had to expose Mr. Waternoose's misguided plans. They managed to trick him into revealing his involvement in Randall's scheme, speaking his secrets into a recorder held by Roz, the dry but watchful administrator of the scare floor, who was secretly a CDA agent. Mr. Waternoose was gently taken away, and his unwise reign came to a calm end. Now came the hardest part, saying goodbye to Boo. Sully, who had grown to love this little girl, had to let her go. He watched as she walked through her door, back into her own world. The door, her only link to Sully, was then shredded into tiny pieces to prevent anyone from ever reaching her again. Sully stood there, his heart feeling a quiet ache, missing his little friend already. In the aftermath, Monstropolis underwent a wonderful transformation. Sully, remembering Boo's laughter, explained that children's laughter was a far more powerful and joyful source of energy than screams. Monsters, Inc. changed its focus from scaring to making children laugh. The city's energy crisis was solved, and the power plants hummed with the joyful sound of giggles. Sully, with his kind heart and wisdom, became the new CEO of Monsters Incorporated, leading the company towards a brighter, happier future. One quiet day, Mike had a special surprise for Sully. He had painstakingly reassembled every single piece of Boo's shredded door, piece by tiny piece. All but one. When Sully took the final piece and gently placed it into the reconstructed door, the door glowed softly. He slowly, gently opened it, and though we didn't see her, the soft sound of Boo's voice, calling his name, drifted out. Sully's face, once filled with a quiet sadness, now held a deep, peaceful joy. And so, dear one, the story ends with a world transformed by love and laughter, where a big, furry monster learned that kindness and gentleness are the greatest powers of all. Sully found his true purpose, and the city of Monstropolis found its happy hum, all thanks to a small, brave girl and the two monster friends who learned to love her. Now, with that warm feeling in your heart, let your mind drift. All the exciting parts are over, and all the challenges have been gently resolved. Rest now, deeply and peacefully, as you dream sweet dreams of friendships, laughter, and a world filled with gentle wonders. Good night, sleep tight, sleep.